Alright, brothers and sisters, something big is coming for crypto. We just survived the biggest crypto liquidation event here, and Bitcoin is slowly climbing back up. What this exactly means, this is very critical here today, and we gotta talk about it and what's coming next here for cryptos, and especially the altcoin season, believe it or not. So with no further ado, let's get into today's video. And as usual, I'm not a financial advisor. This show is not financial advice. This show is for entertainment, some education, and hopefully finding God. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so it appears that we survived the biggest liquidation event ever, and the reason I'm saying this, guys, is because Bitcoin is slowly coming back up. Now, usually when you get this type of liquidations, and if the bull market was over, we don't see this type of recoveries on Bitcoin. So if you zoom in on this chart here and you look at this triangle building up, now usually we don't come back up to equal highs. So we got this equal high here. Usually if this was gonna break to the downside, and if it was over, we should have crashed from this part here. We had no business coming back up to these equal highs here. We should have just broke below this, retested this, and just rejected. That would be the bear case. But now we made a new high from the previous recovery of that liquidation event. So this is pretty big in my opinion. That's why I'm pretty long and strong in this market, and I believe we're gonna see new all-time highs on Bitcoin, and especially on altcoins as well. So we need to look at Ethereum. So if we look at Ethereum, now we can see that Ethereum here is climbing back up, but did not come back to these previous highs. Now Ethereum is coming back up because Bitcoin is coming back up. So that's all we need to know. That's all the information I want to know here, is Bitcoin is still strong. Bitcoin is at $115,000. Now, this is not to be taken lightly. We're not so far away from the high, actually. If we look at this here, the high to the low, we're only 8%, 8.69% down from the all-time high. We're not so far away from the all-time high for Bitcoin, and we just need a 10% pump on Bitcoin, pretty much, to be on a new all-time high. And that means injected hopium and more excitement for altcoins, which means altcoins recover, but this time is different. So this is why I'm saying this is a bigger move, because for this long we have not had any big event like liquidations like those that got people to freak out, to get people to actually believe it's over. And it's not like we have not seen this type of moves as well. Previously here we got this one on April, we got this one Germany selling August 2024, and it appears now we got the biggest, largest liquidation event ever. We did have a bit of a scare around the ETF, Bitcoin ETF news, sell the news. But this one by far was the largest and biggest, and we are recovering it. So this is very important to keep in mind. Now, even if we look at this bull market support band for Bitcoin, and you might have seen this thrown around, but you can see that the weekly candle closed right above it, and now we're still above it. This is, to me, just screams Bitcoin gonna make a new all-time high, which means Ethereum. Now, we want to look at Ethereum because that's what gets meme coins, altcoins, everything else to follow. And why this time is different, and why this time is the biggest one, is because first we got the Q4 of 2025, the post-halving year, which usually when we get the all season, and we haven't had one this far. Even if we look at the Bitcoin dominance, it's so far still at the highs here, have not crashed yet. So there has to come a time where this should go down, especially with Bitcoin making a new all-time high, bringing in more hope in the market. And what could bring Bitcoin dominance down now? This is something that's going to happen tomorrow. We have the news about the rate cuts, which are pretty much priced in at 99.9% odds of happening, which I do believe the market already priced those in. That's why we did not even crash when recovering. I believe that's the case. And something major, which is what caused the bull market last time, and it is quantitative easing. So JP Morgan expects Feds to end quantitative tightening next week. So this was last week, by the way, but they were talking about tomorrow, the 29th of October, when we get the FOMC meeting. There could be news about them ending quantitative tightening, which means printing, and that's what caused the 2021 bubble. If you do remember, this happened. They started printing. 40% of the world's money supply got printed back then because of the bugs that invaded the world. And that's what caused the bubble. And this could be the cause that drops the Bitcoin dominance lower, especially that Bitcoin is making a new all-time high. Now, this discussion would be very, very different if Bitcoin was making new lows. Right, this would be very different. But now we have a different story. Bitcoin above its bull market support band, recovering, as I shown you on the lower time frames, making it an equal high, which this usually signals strength. Bitcoin has no business coming back to this previous high if there was no strength. We should have just ended here, basically, and then this crash here should have taken us way lower and ended there. But we did not get that, and the bull still stands. The bull market still stands. The altcoin season still stands. And the reason I'm saying a big move is coming is because of the possible quantitative easing coming, the printing. So when printing happens, this means everything starts to fly. We're already seeing this getting priced in stocks. We're seeing stocks rally already, pumping, especially lower cap stocks. So we can look at the Russell. Usually this predicts what's going to happen with crypto as well. So the Russell is still here, but it's breaking out slowly, especially last week. If we look at the weekly candles, we had this major weekly push here by the Russell, and now it's pulling back. But we had a breakout finally, the largest weekly close by the Russell since 2021. Right, so this was the Russell back in 2021. So this pretty much, for those that do not know, this shows you lower cap stocks, 2,000 of them, lower cap stocks. Now we made a new all-time high here. And why is this important? Now we can add total tree. Total tree is crypto. All cryptos out there besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if we look at this hasn't broken out yet, but why I'm showing you this, because these guys here usually follow each other. So if we look at the Russell here, when did the Russell break out? So when the Russell broke out here, you can see I'm gonna put a line right around when it broke out. It broke out, went on this rally, and let's make it even more clear so we can see that it took some time. So down below is crypto, altcoins, right? Here is altcoins, and here is the Russell going parabolic. But then later on, we can see that crypto just followed and started booming while the Russell was going sideways. So this is a very good indicator for usually the risk appetite and are people risking money or not. So we can see clearly here that the Russell is breaking out lower cap stocks, which I've noticed since a lot of my friends are urging me to move to stocks because they are pumping. So, but I'm sticking to crypto because that's what I know. But just to give you an example why I noticed this, because a lot of people are DMing me and friends and all that, talking about stocks are pumping, they're making a killing. And altcoins have not done that yet. So this was exactly what happened back in 2021. Russell stocks started to pump. If you guys remember GME stocks and GameStop and AMC and all those back in the days, they were the first to start to rally. Then the altcoins started to rally. And now we're playing out pretty much the same. I do believe we're doing the same thing. It's just that it's been a long time that we're waiting, and the cause was pretty much the rate cuts that haven't happened. And we're pretty slow. No Jerome Powell being slow, and no quantitative easing. So those are coming tomorrow. This is going to be a very big day. So keep an eye on that. And that's about it here. I do believe we're seeing new all-time highs on Bitcoin. Looking at what the low time frame is doing here is very strong. Ethereum probably as well, and altcoins will follow. Anyways, guys, hope this was helpful. I'm gonna keep you updated, as well as my challenge that I mentioned before, that I'm doing a leverage trading challenge is coming up as well. So stay tuned for that, and more altcoins to buy and meme coins. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video till the end, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.